When you get fired, you have a good job as a stand-up comedian.
Oh, thank you. my students say that too, you know.
Good morning. I'm Carolyn Lanier. I'm the Chief Diversity Officer at Western Connecticut State. I'm very excited to be here this morning. I'm not so excited to follow Moises. Remind me on future panels to go first. I'm actually very new to my job. I've been in the position of Chief Diversity Officer only since this summer. But to paraphrase the president from David Letterman a couple weeks ago, I've actually been black all of my life. So the work of diversity has always been very important to me. I share with Teresa that I'm an Army brat, and so having lived all over the world and worked with different people, different cultures, I've had an opportunity to be on the front lines, so to speak, of seeing how everyone brings something different to the table, and that everyone's ideas, everyone's opinions count. I think my siblings and I are probably the only people who don't look forward to the weekend because our parents used to load up the car and go to expose us to something, whether it was a museum or a culture or a play or an exhibit. We were out there and trying to have that opportunity for us to see what made people the same, yet different from our North Carolina roots. I'm a proud graduate of the University of Michigan. Until a couple of years ago, we always had the conversation about our football team. We're not quite so proud at the moment. We're getting better. We're getting better. But when I really became most proud was in 2003, when the U of M was at the forefront of the decision with affirmative action in the Supreme Court, and for U of M to be having what we here are calling courageous conversations about race and affirmative action, about student recruitment. That is when I absolutely was bleeding maize and blue rather than red. One of the things I like Moises would be very excited if my job went away, if the dream came true. I'd really like it if I won the lottery, but I would be most excited if there were no more need for a Chief Diversity Officer at any of our campuses. Unfortunately, I know that that's not something that's going to happen soon, but I'd like for us to have the conversation and to have recognition that diversity on campus isn't necessarily about the multicolored hues in the audience during a particular program or conversation, but rather an understanding that when you have two white males in a room, that you have diversity, that you have rural versus urban upbringing, that you have sexual orientation, that you have socioeconomic differences, that you have education level differences, and that those things also bring diversity to the table, not necessarily the skin tones that someone is bringing. I'm very proud of the work that we are doing at Western. As a matter of fact, I'd like to invite all of you to a program that we're having this Tuesday, October 6th, when we're going to be further discussing the Henry Louis Gates situation. It's at 6:30 in Danbury, and we would love if all of you would come and participate with us in our panel discussion about that. We have a president, we have a faculty and staff that, while it's extremely difficult to have these kinds of conversations, we've really made some good efforts trying not to shy away from that. And we know that we are very much still working to whether or not we are going to be truly a post-racial society. I would love for us to say someday that we're a non-racial society, and at that point to know that our dreams really have been achieved.